Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel and welcome to today's video. We are going to be talking about, yet again, another eyeshadow palette. I have in front of me the BH Cosmetics. This is the brand new Opalescent palette. I have been so excited to get my hands on this palette because if you look at the color scheme, it is very similar to the ABH Norvina palette. At least that's the vibes that I get with some of the neutral colors, the pops of purples and pinks. It just kind of has that same inspiration behind it, at least in my opinion. I absolutely loved the color story in that palette, but unfortunately the formula just didn't work out for me. So I was so excited when I saw this. I am so into these kind of ethereal, romantic pinks, purples, soft browns, neutral shades. Everything about this palette is everything that I love. So I'm so excited to dig into it. I haven't tried it yet. I haven't even really swatched this except for a couple of shades because I was so excited. I just couldn't keep my hands off of it. So we are going to go ahead and go over some swatches, create a look with it. With this particular palette, I am going to create a look on camera for you guys. The last two kind of palette reviews that I've done, I haven't really done the look on camera for you, but I love BH shadows and I get so excited about them because their formula is just so good for the price. Definitely with this one, we will be creating a look together. I have no idea what kind of a look I'm going to create, so we're just going to come up with it together. Before we get started, I do want to mention that there will be timestamps in the description box below. So if you're only interested in swatches, check the description box. There will be a timestamp there so you can jump right to that part of the video. If you're only interested in the tutorial or if you only want to know the final thoughts, what I thought about the palette, you want to see the final look, that will also be in the description box below. The reason why I'm mentioning this right now is because I am going to go off a little bit. I don't want to say on a rant, but a little bit of a tangent. I review a lot of products on my channel and I just have a lot of things to say about some of the comments that I've been receiving recently. So if you don't want to hear about this or you just want to skip ahead and get right to the palette, the timestamps are in the description box below, so feel free to skip this portion of the video. I get a lot of comments along the lines, well, this product worked for me, or I think you're just being too picky, you're repetitive, etc., etc. Yes, I know sometimes in my videos that I can be repetitive, and I also know that I am quite picky. I feel like it is my job, it is my duty when I sit in front of the camera and I have a brand new product in front of me that it is my job to be picky. I want to give you guys the ins and outs of the palette or not just the palette, but the ins and outs of whatever item it is that I am reviewing. That is my style. That is the type of review that I would want to see. I want to know the good and the bad of a product before I spend my money on it. I don't know about most people, but I am not a rich person. I choose where I spend my money wisely. Even if I was extremely rich or was extremely well off, I would still want to know the product that I'm supporting and where I'm putting my money. And again, that is why these types of in-depth reviews, why I'm so picky and why I am so critical, is because I truly feel like most people are like me. So when I sit down and I have, for example, a palette in front of me, if I think that the shimmers aren't up to par based on what I know that a brand is capable of, I'm gonna tell you guys. If I think that it's janky and bullshit that I have to work with a palette in such a picky way in order to get it to perform, I'm gonna tell you guys. I have done so many reviews on the short time that I've been on YouTube. I have close to 200 videos on my channel. 99% of those are product review videos where I test out products, first impressions, I do wear tests. That is a good portion of my channel because that is where my passion is. When I sit down to talk about a product, I don't have the intention of wanting to bash it just to bash it, just because everyone knows that negativity is what gets views, unfortunately. I spend my own money on pretty much every single item that you see on my channel. I have been sent a few things here and there, but nothing major. Again, 99% of the product that you see reviewed on my channel is purchased by me with my own money. I work a full-time job. I have to go spend that money on these products, and I do it happily because it's what I love and it's what I have a passion for. And obviously I have a very, very deep-rooted love for all things beauty, makeup, skincare, the whole thing. So if I am giving you guys a negative review, it is completely warranted. I am not going to go out and spend hundreds of dollars on product just to talk shit about it. The last review that I just put up with the Morphe palette, I still love Morphe. Even though that palette didn't work out for me and the shimmers were just way under par in my opinion, it doesn't mean I'm not going to support Morphe. It doesn't mean I'm not going to keep buying their products. I am obsessed with the bronzer. It's what I'm wearing right now. I haven't been able to put it down. Just because one product didn't work doesn't mean I don't support the brand. It doesn't mean that I'm never going to buy that brand. It doesn't mean I'm going to bash it. You guys get the drift. And I feel kind of silly even having to say something like this, but I feel like when those comments start to creep up and I see more and more and more, and more times than not, most of you get it. You appreciate the reviews, obviously, but I just feel like it's something that I did have to touch on quickly because sometimes, I don't know, it grinds my gears. I'm human. I do get affected by certain things, and most times I just, you know, turn my head or turn the other cheek and just brush it off my shoulders and move on. But there are certain things that do get to me because I do put a lot of time and effort and love into my reviews and into my channel, that when I see comments like that, it's just kind of like it can be a little bit of a downer sometimes. So with that being said, I have no idea how this palette is going to perform that I have right in front of me. I do have faith that it's probably going to be fantastic because I have yet to be let down by BH Cosmetics yet. So now that I have that giant disclaimer out of the way and I have that off of my chest, let's go ahead and jump into the video. All right, you guys, so I am so excited. This packaging is so beautiful. I am obsessed. This is a 24 color eyeshadow palette. I believe I paid $19 for this. When it first launched, they had like a deal going on, but I do believe that it is $24 now. You can get it directly from BH Cosmetics, and you can also get it at Ulta, which is amazing. So it does have a giant mirror on the inside, which I love. And again, here are all of the shades. And then here are some swatches. All right, you guys, here we are looking at my arm once again. This is the first 2 rows of swatches from the BH Cosmetics Opalescent palette. Overall, I am pretty impressed with these swatches. I didn't really have any issues. A couple of colors I wish would have swatched a bit more pigmented, but as you know, swatches aren't always the best impression of how a shadow will perform on the actual lids. We'll have to wait and see, but man, look at that matte right there. I love a good, deeper transition matte brown shade, if that makes any sense. Sometimes swatching mattes, when they look like that, it is so freaking satisfying. And here are the final 2 rows of swatches. These 2 rows, the last 2 in the palette, have to be my absolute favorite. Oh my god, look at these shades. They are mostly shimmers, and the palette overall, I should say, is mostly shimmer shades, but look at these swatches, especially those last 3. Oh, I am in love. These are absolutely beautiful shades, you guys. I am in love. So I have no idea what look I'm about to create. I really do have to comment first though on the color layout. I love how like all the pinky purpley shades are like right here on this side of the palette, and then you've got all of your more neutral, easy shades here on the side. Sadly, I am so drawn into this, and I'm honestly drawn into it just as much as I am to this on this side, but I do really want to dig into the purples and the pinks, so that is exactly what we're going to do. As usual, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom you guys in so that you can get a good idea of how these shadows perform. All right, so we are nice and zoomed in. I think it's really funny when I look in the viewfinder, my bun gets cut off, so I look like I have like no hair, so it's there, you guys, I swear. Let's go ahead and lay down a base shade. I have primed my lids with some concealer and some setting powder, as I usually do. This is how I like to use BH Cosmetics shadows, is on top of a base like that. So we're gonna start off with this kind of cream shade here. This is the shade Flutter. Shout out to BH for putting the shade names on the palette. And we're just gonna kind of lay this down just as kind of like a base. I'm gonna be using, this is a BH Cosmetics brush. In fact, this is from their White Studded Elegance collection. These brushes are so good, you guys. I cannot stop using them. They are so soft. This is the number 6. A little bit of kick up, but nothing too bad. Kick up doesn't bother me with this shadow. The only time that it bothers me is if I dip my brush in a little bit and I feel like I've lost 30% of my shadow. That is the only time that kick up really truly bothers me. I am now gonna go in with the BH Cosmetics. This is another number 6, but this is from their, it's like their Rose Marble collection. Where do we wanna start? I think I'm gonna start off with this shade right here, Bright. And we're just gonna start by getting that into the crease. Now this shade isn't giving me really any kick up, and I'm really digging my brush in there, but I also don't feel like I'm getting a lot of pigment. Let's try that again. So there's some color payoff there, but it's definitely not the most pigmented shadow in the world. I'm really trying to twirl my brush in there because maybe I need to get the top off first. It is a light shade to begin with, but I'm used to a little bit more pigment from BH. Now that's a synthetic brush. I am gonna try to use, where'd it go? Here it is. This is a natural hair brush. This is the JH33. This is from the Morphe Jacqueline collection. Just gonna see if this makes a difference at all in the way that the shadow blends out. So I definitely do get more pigment from it if I use, as you can see, a natural hair brush. It might be because these bristles are a lot more coarse and it's digging into that pigment a lot more, but not a big deal. You just have to dip into the palette and into that shade a little bit more. So I'm gonna go ahead and deepen up my crease just a little bit. I'm gonna go in with the shade right here, Charm. I'm gonna use my favorite crease brush. If you have hooded eyes, this brush is a godsend. This is the number 7 brush. This is from the, I think the pink marble, the rose marble collection. Look at how much softer that is. So you can tell like the formula, it's a little bit more kick up there. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm gonna put that right into the crease gently. Definitely getting more color payoff from this one. Wow, that is a really beautiful shade. Yeah, that's more what I'm used to from BH. So these two shadows, Charm and Bright, do go well together. I am learning that you can put this bright shade right on top of that Charm, right on top of Bright, and it does help amplify it a bit. So they do work very well together. That's really pretty. What do we want to do on the outer corner? I think I'm going to start off with this deep purple shade Wish right here. I'm going to stick with this same small brush and I'm going to dip into the shade Wish. Again, a little kick up, which is a good sign because that means that this is going to carry some pigment. When I do my outer corners, I kind of just dab like this. Now I was worried about how this purple would look with these more peachy pink shades, but I think it works. I think I'm going to deepen that up just a little bit more. So I'm going to dip back in to Wish and just keep going. Keep building that up. To give it to BH, one thing that their shadows always seem to be consistent on is the blend. I have yet to use, me personally, a patchy shadow from BH. I feel like all of their shadows just always blend so easily. They're never patchy, they never skip, and the pigmentation is just always so nice and even. So I'm going to take my Jaclyn Hill Morphe brush. This is the JH41, and I am going to go ahead and dip into this shade here, Vivacious. You guys know this is kind of my thing. If you've watched my channel before, I like to pick up a deeper metallic shade and just kind of pack it on the edge of where I place that darker pigment. This just kind of helps. I feel like when I lay down a lighter shade into it, it just helps that blend look more seamless. If I can get away with it, I like to use this shadow more on the dry side because I do want it to blend more than I want it to pop. As you can see, it's just very soft, but it looks beautiful together. What am I gonna put all over my lid? I think I'm gonna go ahead and go in with this shade here, Magic. Take that same Jaclyn brush and dip into that. I'm gonna go ahead and wet my brush with some Fix Plus. Whew, that picked up some pigment. I'm gonna lay this all over the lid. That is so pretty. Now this shade has a lot more dimension than I thought. That is gorgeous. So this shade is the exact reason as to why this palette is probably called Opalescent. Wow, absolutely stunning. All right, so I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm gonna dip my finger in here just to see if I can intensify it just a little bit more. Sometimes I like to use a brush and then I like to pack a little bit more on with my finger. That is so stunning. I absolutely love it. All right, so then let's go ahead and kind of, I wanna brighten up this inner portion here just a little bit. So I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm gonna take that same brush and I'm gonna dip into the shade Twilight. I haven't even been showing you guys. So Magic is the shade that I just put all over my lid, and now we're dipping into Twilight here. I'm gonna focus this just kind of like right here on this inner portion just to brighten it up. That is just, I'm hoping that my camera is picking this up, but like the colors are just so beautiful. Now let's go ahead and work on the lower lash line. I'm going to take this brush here from Luxie. This is the mini tapered brush. This is the 121. See it there, focus. I'm gonna go ahead and dip into the shade Alluring right here. Actually, no, we're gonna take the shade Wish. Ever so slightly, this is a very bright, dark shade. I do want the purple on the lower lash line. And the reason why I'm using a fluffier brush like this is because I really want it to kind of smoke out on the lower lash line and look nice and diffused and blended. We could have actually just used this shade in the crease as well and packed it on the outer lid if you didn't want to use like this pinky kind of shade up here, but I did want to try out as many of the shades as possible. You guys know I like to try a lot of shades at once to kind of give you an idea. It still looks beautiful together, but I feel like to even make this more intense purple, we could have went in with this shade initially or used more of like a brown shade, but I still like it nonetheless. Wow, I'm obsessed with this Wish shade. So let's go ahead and work on the inner corner here. I'm going to use my Lamora. This is my detailed pencil brush. And I'm going to dip into the shade right here, Star. Don't waste any time. I'm just going to go ahead and spray that right off the bat and then put that right in the inner corner. So pretty. I love a good inner corner pop-up highlight. It is my favorite. All right, you guys, so far I'm pretty impressed with this eye look. I'm gonna go ahead and put on the finishing touches, curl my lashes, put on some mascara, and I will be right back. All right, you guys, so here is the completed look. I finished everything off with just some roller lash. That was it. I didn't really want to put on any eyeliner or anything like that with this because I just wanted the colors to speak for themselves. These shadows are fantastic from what I have tried so far. The only shadow I wasn't totally impressed with was this shade here, Bright, but you can build it up. It just seems like it's a little bit more stiff, but every other shade that I tried in this palette really blew me away, especially the shade right here, Magic and Twilight. These two are so special. The shade Wish down here, absolutely beautiful, vivacious. This corner right here is just a powerhouse. I have to say that because they look so bright and stunning on the eyes. I am obsessed. Again, BH Cosmetics, so far you have not disappointed me. What I love about this palette is the versatility of it. It can be very romantic, but it can also be very neutral. It can be daytime, it can be nighttime, it can create more fun looks. This is actually really good for maybe like festival seasons, for those who want more bright, mystical looks, or if you're someone who wants to rock something neutral, this is perfect to travel with. It's compact. It has a beautiful large mirror on the inside. For the price, I mean, you can't really go wrong. This is just a beautiful collection of shadows, and I think that it is a major dupe for the Norvina palette, so I do want to say that. There are a couple of shades that aren't completely similar, but if you love that palette layout like me, but you weren't totally impressed with the formula, or if you wanted that palette but you can't afford it, well, here you go, because you're getting 24 shades in this. It's almost half the price, and they perform like a dream. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought about this palette. Did you pick it up as well? What do you think about the look that I created? What is your favorite shade? Let me know what your favorite BH Cosmetics palette or makeup item is. Is there something from BH that you want to see me review that you haven't seen on my channel yet? I would love to hear from you guys. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you liked it, share it, and of course be sure to subscribe to my channel before you go. I love you guys so much. I appreciate those who are positive, positively constructive, those that take the time to comment kind things, give me advice without being an asshole. I just want to say thank you guys. I appreciate that more than anything. Your love and support is the best, and it keeps me going. I love you guys so much, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye guys.